Like, what is the reason why they're doing it? And what do they have on him? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that to me is the right answer. Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it,
well, they want him,
which is crazy.
They want him to go down, and they want him. He represents something.
Seatbelt. I'm
opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening the
off
door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
The G unit and the police officers that used to mess with you, pull you over and harass you and things like that, and they all fans of you. They cool with you now, and it's just like, man, like how your life did a complete 360 by just making different choices.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when the Crawford news came up, and you could tell it shook him. He opened by saying, man, think about this. Terence Crawford just beat Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight of his life. His city is throwing him a parade. He's literally on top of the world. And then suddenly he's pulled over in a high-tension traffic stop.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The one thing I will say, for an intelligent guy, which I agree with you he is, to be doing the things he's being accused of doing and then go seek publicity is a very unwise move.
If he did the things
Correct.
that he did.
Rogan went on to explain how surreal it is that an athlete who just unified the sport could instantly be reminded that fame, money, and belts don't protect you from real-life situations. He painted the picture perfectly. One night you're celebrated like a king. The next you're standing outside your car with police lights flashing in your face.
Terence Crawford, it don't matter what you do for your city, man. Bruh, I'm letting you know right now, man. With this incident right here, they waiting on you to do something bad. This dude right here, he was trying to jack you. He was trying to catch you slipping. That's all it was. Seeing you on TV, displayed all on TV, parade shut down and stuff. He gotta be, securing certain points and stuff like that. He mad. He mad to see you be as big as you are.
Rogan stressed that it's not just about boxing, it's about how fragile moments are and how quickly life can flip on anyone, no matter how untouchable they seem in the spotlight.
To me, because I was in the moment, so I understood everything that was going on. There was some surprises, I can say that, but me being in that moment and knowing everything that was going on when it was happening, it was like everything just slowed down to me at that moment.
Alright, so we just went from Bud talking about turning his life around to now dealing with police drama that looks straight out of a bad Netflix pilot. And here's where I'm at with this. Crawford doesn't just fight opponents in the ring. He's out here fighting reckless traffic stops too. Like, how do you go from pound for pound king to reckless driving citation in the same week? That's like LeBron dropping 40 points in the finals and then getting benched at the YMCA for double dribbling. Makes no sense at all.
Terence Crawford wants a thorough investigation, and he should. And in fact, this is what I think. Like I said yesterday, I believe these police officers, when they found out that these guys they pulled over had guns, they got scared. I think they got scared because these black men had guns and they didn't know how to really handle the truth when they only did their investigation to find out they were legal. And we already know that the police officer that pulled him, or that drawed down on Terence Crawford, didn't know who he was. And then for that reason, he should be fired.
And the timing? Crazy. One day he's on top of the world with a parade and confetti. The next he's got flashing lights in his rearview mirror like it's a remix nobody asked for. And now Bud's calling for an investigation. Oh, you already know this movie just got a sequel, and the trailer's looking wilder than the fight highlights. Grab your popcorn, because somebody's about to get fact-checked harder than an influencer on Instagram. And let's be real, this whole thing shows you why Crawford's built different. Some fighters crumble under pressure. Bud treats chaos like another sparring session.
But now we've caught these officers in lies that claim we seen a gun because they're trying to cover up the fact that they drew down on these guys for no reason. So they're trying to find a reason why they did what they did, and they don't have a reason to. See, it's all bull to me, because this needs to be pushed to the level of someone being terminated.
Cops pull him over, rumors fly, lawyers line up, and what does Bud do? He files for legal action like he's scheduling a title defense. That's champion energy, no matter how you spin it. Most of us argue our way out of a parking ticket. Crawford argues his way into a courtroom showdown, cool as ever. And the best part, he's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for principle. If you thought Bud was dangerous in the ring, wait until you see him in front of a judge with facts on his side. He's about to turn legal briefs into combinations, and honestly, if Omaha PD thought they had him cornered, they just stepped into the ring with a guy who doesn't lose when the stakes get high.
That's not good enough. Because there's a reason why they say when police ask you how fast you were going, they ask you that. They ask you that for a reason, because they want you to give up a certain, they want you to say a certain response so they can then document how, what you said based on what we know now that they weren't speeding at all. Hence, they couldn't give him a speeding ticket because that's a moving violation. So they had to give him something else. Oh, reckless driving. So it was first speeding, then they gave him a ticket for reckless driving to justify them doing all this escalation.
But then reality smacks harder than a Crawford counter. 1 second, Omaha's celebrating their king. The next, he's stuck in flashing lights with cops yelling at him like he didn't just unify the city hours before. His own security even said they thought it was life or death, and that's chilling. Imagine that. You go from holding belts one night to holding your breath the next, praying nothing goes wrong. That's the crazy duality of being Bud Crawford. Inside the ropes, untouchable. Outside, vulnerable like the rest of us. And that's the real punchline here. You can be an anomaly in the ring, a living legend, but life's chaos doesn't care about belts. It shows up uninvited and it doesn't pull punches.
Cop comes to my window. Cop goes to Bud's window. I know the protocol. Bud said, well, how do you know I was speeding if you don't have radar? Okay. Bud actually had the cop on camera saying I admit that I do not have radar. Bud said, I have a firearm too. The cop on his side went ballistic, totally unhinged. He says, get your hands up, get out the car, don't reach. But there was never a physical gun in sight. Everyone thought we were gonna die, man. He said, no, I don't have it on me. I left everything at home. He had already told them, so there was no reason for him to reach for nothing.
While Omaha was dealing with sirens, Rogan was calling Crawford's fight a symphony in motion. Rogan's calling it art, and he's not wrong. Crawford didn't just outbox Canelo, he turned him into a live-action demo reel on ESPN. At 37, Bud's making future Hall of Famers look like they need a refund on their training camps. And here's the crazy contrast. This same guy who looked untouchable under Vegas lights is back in Omaha hours later with cops treating him like a suspect instead of a superstar. Think about that. One night you're painting a masterpiece in front of millions. The next night you're stuck in flashing lights, answering to a citation. I mean, I tweak my back, tying my shoes, and this guy's pit-patting the face of boxing like it's light work, only to have real life hit him harder than any Canelo hook. You, me, all of us. We didn't just watch a fight, we watched a masterpiece colliding with reality in real time.
That's art. That is art.
He's so clever, and just like the way, and it got to the point where he got so comfortable, he's like pit-patting him. And then throwing, like, what?
Bap, 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 bang.
And
It's like,
you're
wow.
watching, like, wow. Towards the end, towards the final rounds, I really started getting comfortable and really started putting it on him. I'm like, this is amazing.
Alright, check this out. Crawford just went from talking about cops flipping into fans like it's the wildest plot twist in his life story, and now he's hitting us with some real perspective about choices. And here's the part that kills me. This dude's saying, yeah, all I had to do was stop messing around, focus on boxing, and boom, life changed. Like, bro, imagine how many of us wish success worked, like flipping a light switch. Meanwhile, Bud's over here making it look that easy, and then you find out the spark came from Tim Bradley of all people. That's like your whole boxing career starting because someone dared you to play pickup basketball. Wild. But honestly, you gotta respect it. Bud's showing us the secret formula without even trying. Work, patience, and one perfectly timed phone call.
Your life did a complete 360 by just
making different choices. You know, my first call was Tim Bradley. That's what started it all. I wasn't fighting. I wasn't doing nothing. I was just chilling. You know what I mean? Training. And I got that phone call, and that was the light that sparked it all. You know, me sparring Tim Bradley, and then it's been up ever since.
And now Bud takes it even deeper. He's talking destiny like he's the main character in a movie that already had the script written years ago. No nerves at the decision, no doubt in his mind, just pure faith and execution. And honestly, I felt that. Because think about it, this man was ready to walk away from boxing, ready to throw in the towel, and now he's standing over Canelo like the credits are rolling. He literally said, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and then goes out there proving it. Meanwhile, most of us get nervous waiting for an Amazon delivery, and here's Crawford cool as ice in front of Vegas judges. That's different. That's not just boxing skill, that's a mindset. And you and I both know, once a fighter believes it's already written, forget it. You're not beating that guy, you're just stuck playing a role in his highlight reel.
I was emotional because I already knew I had it in the bag. You know what I mean? That's why I dropped down to my knees like, dang. You know, I just started getting emotional because it's like, the journey was long. You know what I mean? It was grueling. Something like, man, I remember, you know, about to quit boxing. You know, like, boxing been a love-hate, you know, relationship for years.
And here's the kicker. Crawford's not just talking about destiny. He's living like a guy who already knows the next few chapters. You can see it in his eyes after the fight. There's no panic about what's next, no chasing validation. It's like he's already 5 steps ahead, while the rest of boxing is scrambling to figure out how to even catch up. That's why the talk of retirement, legacy, and what's left to prove feels so real right now. Bud's in a place where he doesn't need belts to define him anymore. He is the definition, and whether he fights again or not, the crazy part is his name just keeps getting bigger. Like every round of his career was just adding more ink to the legend.
Like all the things that I had to go through in this sport, it was just like, man, like, and you finally here. Like, out of all the things that happened, none of it mattered because you did this. And that's why I was just like, man, you know, you gotta thank God, because, you know, he the one that, you know, had it made for me and planned.
But let's be honest, boxing's not done with Crawford yet. There are still names circling him like sharks in the water, Benavidez at 168, maybe Spence trying to run it back at a heavier weight, and you already know promoters are cooking up insane crossover matchups just to tempt him back into the ring. The demand is too high, the money's too loud, and the fans were too greedy to let him ride off into the sunset just yet. So whether it's one last mega fight or a full-on farewell tour, you can bet Crawford's next move won't just be a fight. It'll be another headline moment, because let's face it, Bud doesn't do small. Every chapter he writes now has to feel like a season finale. Alright fam, that's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one, because in this sport, the drama never sleeps, and neither do we.